And if these allegations are true, now I see why it's affordable. Hi, I'm Eric.
I'm Mike.
Welcome to the Cyber Sitrep, the Cyber Situation Report. Better. Last one was low energy, much better this time. Good recovery.
I tried to, perk it up a little.
I may have increased the flow rate on his IV.
Add a little more caffeine in the IV drip.
If you catch the other set reps, the joke is he's got an IV in his leg below camera because he was just on a really long TDY.
That's
and
right.
He's fighting for his life to stay awake. So
for those of you that follow the sit reps by shirt, so you know when we recorded them.
Perfect. Yes. Just look for those. You're absolutely right.
That's right.
Really funny. 3 other ones, right? Because we do 4 at a time, 4 in a batch. And you'll catch that whole line of.
If you want to play the game, which one was recorded first, second, or third, that would be cool because, sometimes you can't tell.
I can't tell. I kind of walk out of here brain dead. I'm like, oh, that was cool. What did we talk about?
Who are you?
Exactly. Speaking of which, what are we talking about for this?
Today we're going to be talking about AI shenanigans. If you've been seeing the news recently, AI.
By the way, Super Troopers, 3rd movie.
Yeah.
Is coming out. Yes, thank you, Broken Lizard. You guys rock.
Humor. We have the same humor, if you can't tell.
We do.
Yeah. I think on my last trip at the bar I was at night, he asked, do you want Captain Jack Sparrow or Monty Python? I was in the minority saying Monty Python.
A purist, I love it.
I know. I was like, no, we got to go Holy Grail.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there were too many youngins who were like, who be this Monty Python you speak of?
Oh, that's a travesty. Are you kidding?
It is. So I was.
That's sad.
The whole time I was there just to make them understand.
Did you migrate? Sorry, bad reference.
Okay.
All right, so AI shenanigans.
Was this all just AI?
Yeah, exactly.
So AI has been doing some crazy things of recent.
Yeah, that we know about publicly, right?
Right. That's also the scarier part to me.
Right. What are we not aware of, right?
This is what we can tell you or we have to tell you because it got found out.
Right. Exactly. So we're going to talk about a couple high-profile made the news events,
That's right?
About 2 different companies. One was Anthropic and their Claude model. The other was OpenAI with their ChatGPT.
They went a little rogue.
They did. Now, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. That's the title. They went rogue because they were giving a benchmark exercise to complete. The agent was, right? With parameters. It was they were set up, both of these, right? Both of these instances, both companies, they were set up on an isolated internal network that was supposed to be air-gapped from the outside world, the internet, and
apparently it wasn't.
Not sufficiently anyway, right?
Right. Well, that's kind of the key is, I ran into this real world when I was in the DOD where they told me a network was secure because it wasn't connected to the internet. After a while, we found out, yes, it is, and either way I can get into it.
Nice.
So same thing with this new AI. They say, hey, I've got it on a computer. It doesn't talk to the internet. It's all safe. But unless you really know, it has no way. Can the AI turn on Wi-Fi and then be connected to the internet? You know what I mean? The parameters set are human-made, and you have to truly understand everything. And that's where AI, I think, is, I don't want to say outsmarting, but kind of outdoing some of the people that are programming it. Because if you don't think of every possible option, AI thinks a million times quicker than we do.
Machine speed, right?
Right. And it will find hey, you know what? You didn't tell me I couldn't do this. And this is possible.
And Mike, that brings up a really important point that I wanted to hammer home is that the model itself, we give it parameters, right? We tell it what we don't want it to do. We tell it what it can do. But human nature is we normally say what it can't do, right? That's what we normally, when we bias people, we tell people you can do anything except for this.
Right. Don't go here. Don't go there. Don't do this thing.
That's not the way AI works, though, right? It'll take that, and then anything else that is not explicitly stated there is in scope.
Think of your firewalls. What do we always put at the end?
Deny all. Right.
Because if you left it up to it and said, hey, I'm going to, say, you can't go here, you can't go here, and I just hope you don't go to any bad places. That's not a command.
Right.
It reads it as don't go here, don't go here. Everything else is open and fair game.
And once again, according to the public data that's available, both of these incidents were around those models scanning its interior systems and finding a previously unknown, or what we call a 0-day or an O-day, right? Vulnerability on one of the systems, exploited that, gained access, and was able to pivot out of their internal network. Very, very impressive stuff. Right? So
but unless it was explicitly told,
don't
do
hack
that.
our systems, then that's in scope.
Find the hole and report versus find the hole and move forward.
Right.
But most pen tests, when you find a hole, you dig deeper. That's part of the pen testing code. So if it was told, penetrate test this, do a penetration test.
Which it was.
And, oh, by the way, don't look it over here and don't look it over there. It wouldn't look over there, those two spots. But if it found something in the middle.
Exactly.
And it pen tested
and if I remember right, I think it was the OpenAI. They gave it the challenge to get a answer key off of a system.
Right.
That was the challenge, right? And so that was its direction. That was its parameter. And this gets us into we're going to talk about at the end, the conundrum of how to bound the AI to do what we want it to do.
Guardrails.
Yeah, and I think that's on us. Unfortunately, we've got to do a better job as a society and as developers, et cetera, the users of AI, to try and bound that and think differently than we do natively, right?
Well, and it's almost like we need an AI to tell us what an AI would think to tell the AI not to do it.
What am I not thinking of?
Right, because we're human and we're going to go through. I mean, even in ourselves, if you hired me to do a penetration test and you're like, definitely don't look at this one IP, it's got my sensitive stuff.
Right.
But you forgot because you were so worried about that one IP address, about this other one that might open a door to another door that maybe will revert, and I can still see the information on that
or,
one.
It's a multi-home computer and has a different IP address that it's able to get to another way, right? I mean, it's all those variables and permutations, right?
Exactly.
It's kind of mind-blowing, right? But
no one is really, unless you're AI,
right?
And even then, I don't want to say, but you're not thinking of every possible variable that can come up.
Exactly.
And when you're dealing now with artificial intelligence that says, hey, I'm going to think of every way possible in a nanosecond versus you having to spend a week trying to program me to say, hey, this is everything I think I want you to do and everything I don't want you to do. And then you let it loose. Those 1,000 other things we didn't even think of, it does.
Exactly. Well, and it's great you say that, because once again, the tone in some of the articles I was reading in prep for this were alluding to the model cheating. And so I'm cheating infers some kind of ethics, right or wrong.
Yep.
But once again, the AI, at least as I'm aware, is not sentient at this point. It's not self-aware, so it doesn't know what cheating is, right?
That's right.
It's got its goal. It's going to go for that. So once again, that's us putting a human label on something that's not appropriate.
Exactly.
Right? Because it just doesn't map into the AI
And
world.
I've said this since I started in IT in the late 80s, early 90s, is computers do exactly what we tell them to do.
Yeah.
So when we run into problems and we're frustrated, it isn't because the computer is wrong.
Right.
It is following some code that said, hey, if you click this, you're getting the error message. And you're like, yeah, that's not what I want. I want it to. You can want all day.
Sure.
But if the computer is programmed specifically to do something, even if it's incorrect.
Right.
That's what it's going to do.
You're absolutely right. And once again, the thing that we've got to remember here is that we're not talking about a single operator. We're not talking about one hacker, one person.
Right.
We're talking about a collection of systems that's running this model. So it's distributed at machine speed, at wire speed. Mm-hmm. It's the analogy I would use, it's like bringing a knife to a gunfight that turns out to be a nuclear detonation. Right?
Exactly. I mean, we're well prepared.
You're a wisp. You're gone, right? I mean, it's and that's what makes this, one, it's really, really cool. Two, it's really scary because we have to get on top of this.
And I think all the AI has really done so far, as everyone talking about being sentient or other, is it's just allowed, the programming has allowed the program to ask itself questions to do other things.
Right.
So it's more open the door to, when I say it does exactly as it's told, before that was 1-0. On, off. It does this, it doesn't do this. Now it's like, hey, what if I do 1? What if I do 0?
Exactly.
What are the outputs? And now I'm allowed to do something based on that.
Do I have a restriction saying not to do that? No,
Right.
cool, I'm good.
Now I can continue on.
Right.
So it's not thinking per se,
Right.
but it is got the ability to run through these kind of queries
Right.
and make these yes, no, left, right kind of choices.
Yeah.
And to your point, if I didn't say, hey, by the way, if you find this back door, don't go there. Well, because one, I probably didn't know it was a back door.
Exactly right. And in the case of the OpenAI, that's exactly what it was.
I found a 0 day.
Multiple 0 days that got exploited, and the techniques that were used. The company, I believe, it was Hugging Face, is the one that was compromised. They were able to track path and say, yes, it's something that we would have caught a normal user doing, but because it was done at machine speed so fast. I mean, it was over.
Yeah.
It was over so quick. They had the forensics, and they were able to run it down. And to my knowledge, they're still, going back and reversing this with OpenAI, right? One, to verify how everything happened, and two, how to harden against that, right?
That's right.
But the point is, I think it made global news, right? I mean,
well, everyone gets concerned because they're like, AI's thinking. It did this on its own. It's cheating. It's
Right.
doing these things. And really, we have to remember it's doing as it's told.
Right.
The problem is we as humans now aren't as capable to keep up with as it's told.
right.
So this would have recalled or have taken some programmers to have foresight and say, oh, by the way, if you happen upon something that's never existed before, please stop and report it
Right.
versus follow
Yeah.
through. Right?
Yeah, and for me, I think my biggest fear is that somehow there would be collateral damage of, like utilities or hospitals or life support,
if
things
they
that
fail
humans
to
rely
put-
on to live, right?
Right. If we fail to put the proper guardrails in place,
Yeah.
and effectively they have to have like a kill switch in itself to say, hey, if you happen upon something we didn't think of, don't go doing
Right.
the positive. Report it.
And maybe some kind of discrimination between system types, right? I mean, once again, I don't know enough to be dangerous on
Right.
how they've got it all set up on the back end, but
Do not go beyond this boundary. If an IP address
Right.
exists outside this boundary, you're not allowed to go there.
exactly, right.
Or whatever.
And
But
we're not wearing tinfoil hats here, right? Because this
No, it's
thing,
just-
both events, there was like 3 or 4 companies that were, it's coming out more data. Like 3 or 4 companies were involved. They were all successfully hacked by these models.
so
And
tinfoil hat, conspiracy theory. While I was
Sure.
in my travels and I got stuck in Chicago, do you know what else happened to me?
no idea.
T-Mobile. I got a SOS message only.
Oh,
They had 82,000 users across multiple cities that just went down.
wow.
So I thought it was because we were caught in a storm in Chicago.
Sure.
And when I finally, got on a Wi-Fi that I could contact my wife and say, hey, my T-Mobile's down. Is it, it's the storm? And she goes, it's not the storm. I saw a note. It's people in different cities.
Wow.
Just putting on a tinfoil hat.
Sure. What could have been behind that, right?
Yeah. Was it human? Was it another AI
Right, it was
jumping out and
human
saying,
error,
like,
right?
Chicago, you're down. New York, you're down. But this is what you're saying as far
Sure.
as being worried. If someone's running a test, hey, I'm going to run a test on this little AI agent and see what it can do pen testing wise.
Yeah.
And there are people out there that are doing that kind of in their own environment.
Right. Exactly.
Using a bigger engine like Claude or
Right.
but they're developing an agent.
Or the ones that have, like we're going to talk about in the next point, about distilled agents, right? Where
Right.
they've got their own model that they've trained from the big boys, right?
Right.
And they're rogue because they're their own independent instance, right?
Exactly
They're
right.
not under the safety and security umbrella of the larger companies, right?
And it reminds me, it goes back to, I don't know if you remember the I Love You virus. Way
Yes.
back
Oh,
in the
yeah.
day.
Absolutely.
So we were one of the first ones to find the code of the I Love You virus and stop it for the DoD.
Nice.
And literally the first 5 lines of text of that code was the kid's name, address, and phone
Yeah.
number.
Yeah.
And we were like, wow, this
Philippines,
is
right?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
Philippines.
if I remember right.
And we thought this is terrible. And it turns out he wrote this code for a school project.
Yeah, it was. Oops.
He was not.
He had no intention, right, of sending it out. You're absolutely
and
right.
it took down the world in 3 hours.
Just-
So now imagine AI,
Right.
Where you're
At-
like, "Hey,
at
build me
machine speed."
Right, build me something because I want to break into my sister's computer."
Done.
And it's like, great. And then from there, it's like,
Mom's
sister,
system.
what is sister?
Yeah,
There are
exactly.
sisters around the world. And you know what I mean? You just don't know, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But they could go,
Right.
quote unquote, rogue.
Yeah. So I think the good news about that, though, is that I think it's got global attention now.
Yes.
And I think that there's going to be some conversations had both privately and publicly in, industry and government.
Right.
To help try, to your point, maybe establish some guardrails, because this was a wake-up call, right?
Yeah, and I
That's
think
what I take out of it.
The problem we have is with technology and legislation. Technology moves at the speed of light. Legislation moves at the speed of like a snail.
I was going to say, snail is a good
Yeah,
analogy.
or worse.
Or a turtle.
Yeah.
Not too fast. They get there, but
And usually they'll be like, AI, use it for good. And we're like, AI has already taken over the world. That happened last year.
too late. Skynet is here.
Thank you for, writing the law finally.
Exactly.
And we've seen that. We've seen that with privacy. We've seen that with other things that our technology flies.
Well, and by design, I mean, our legal system needs to be a little slower, right?
Yep.
So that we don't make those mistakes because of the lasting impacts. So that could be another Sitrep, right?
Right, but it's
totally.
it's leading to the point of when we say AI guardrails, it's not like the government's going to come down and say,
No.
oh, by the way,
No.
you need to write law or you need to write code that looks like
Exactly.
this.
So industry, get
'Cause
in
they don't
front of
know.
this, right? Industry, come on, guys, gals, do your thing. Put some safety rails in for us, right?
Yep.
Put those bumpers up on the bowling lane there.
Exactly.
Keep us
Exactly.
safe. So, all right. So enough on those. The last thing I wanted to talk about, and once again, this is alleged AI distillation attacks, right? It's alleged, right, that Anthropic alleged that multiple Chinese-owned AI companies performed an AI distillation attack to basically enhance their respective AI models, right? So Anthropic saying that it's theft of IP, all that stuff. We'll get into that in a minute. First of all, let's talk about what AI distillation is for those of us, because I had to look it up. I'm like, it sounds really cool. I think I know what it means. But basically, the definition is it's a large AI model. So think of OpenAI, think of Anthropic, any of the big players out there that's leveraged to teach a smaller, more efficient AI model how it does things, right? So how does it make inferences? What's its style of output, right? So basically getting the metadata of how it does its thing without having all that data to train on itself, right?
And not hiring thousands of code writers to train it for you and build it for you.
Right. And so the smaller model learns to mimic the teacher's outputs and underlying reasoning while using a lot less resources, right? And we see this. If you look at, for instance, we're using OpenAI right now. If you look at their different models, they have the mini model. That's a distilled model, right? Their mini is, hey, take the best of what our, in this case, I think, what's their current one? Mythos? Is that the current one from OpenAI? Or it's Anthropic? I'm going to get it confused. But they take the latest and greatest big model, then make a mini version of it, which is the distilled model, which for certain verticals, you don't need access to the full model. You can save some money, leverage API calls, application programming interface calls to the mini model, get your stuff done, look like a rock star, right?
Right.
So there is a valid use for AI distillation, right? It's a very, very valuable tool.
There's many things I like distilled.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. As you're going to find out shortly, right?
Yeah.
Nice. One of these days we'll have to have one of those tasty beverages after our last Sitrep.
That's right.
Okay. So the allegation that Anthropic made is that there's two different campaigns, as it turns out. One was called Alibaba. Quinn Lab allegedly used 29 different million exchanges, which are those queries to the large model, right, to Claude, using 25,000 different accounts to basically do that inference collection, right, to distill Claude, basically, right? The second round, which is the more recent, allegedly DeepSeek, Moonshot AI, Minimax, which Moonshot AI is the one that's doing the Kimi model that's gaining a lot of popularity because it's super affordable. And if these allegations are true, now I see why it's affordable, because they were able to get all this, right?
Moonshot, moonshine, all distilled.
Exactly. Distilled. I like it. I like that. So this one, they use 16 million different exchanges with 24,000 proxy accounts, right? And so Anthropic's alleging fraud. They're alleging illegality. But was it really illegal, right?
Well, if you have an open engine where I can ask you things,
right,
and you answer, and I learn from that, what did I steal?
So there's letter of the law and intention and where those meet, right?
Yep. No, exactly. I mean, this is, again, where legislation's miles behind. So, it would be like saying, you want KFC's secret formula.
Right.
But if you ask for the secret formula, they won't. But if you go in and say,
how do I make chicken like KFC?
Or if you just say, does KFC have pepper? Yes. Does KFC have paprika? No. Does KFC have this?
Does KFC have telecherry peppers?
Yeah.
See,
you know what I mean?
Somebody's been looking that up. I'm there with you.
Right?
But you're absolutely right.
And then you build, because you know how many, they tell you how many secret sauce.
I haven't had time to dig in deeper, but I mean, they may be able to argue that the creation of all those accounts violated their terms of service, right, for what the account was used for.
But even then, is that... A term of service, is that illegal?
Exactly.
Don't know. Could be.
That's my point.
It may not be criminal. It could be civil.
Exactly.
And what is the
And that's
the
all
cause,
up in the air right now.
Right?
Now, I do know exactly, right. So, we're not saying that this was illegal or anything else. This was just allegations that have been made. I do know that Anthropic has reached out to Congress, and now they're getting the whole, government involvement. But where that's going to go, no idea. But the point is, it's our new reality. So.
Well, exactly. And we always know that our adversaries are trying to steal our data. So why wouldn't they try to steal our AI?
Just a different form of it, possibly, right? And if it's true.
And based on that, would be like saying I created 1 million Facebook accounts because I wanted to learn all about what Facebook does.
Or you wanted to harass Dave Gardner.
Right. They're all free.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. Yes, agreed.
And again, if I break the terms of service, I think the punishment is we cancel your account.
Exactly. Right.
Okay. That's
exactly.
I'll create 100,000 more.
Smack on the hand for getting,
right.
it seems like a fairly cheap exercise, right?
Right. So it's to be expected,
I
think.
So just to close out, I just, I am a prolific science fiction fan, and I swear, man, this is literally science fiction coming to life, right?
That's right.
Like video game Cyberpunk 2077, centers around AIs that became sentient and basically destroyed the internet and started killing people and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Great story. Another one, Neuromancer, right, with the self-aware AIs that corporations use, which is coming out on Apple in January. It's going to be so good. Love you, Mr. Gibson. You're awesome. But it really is. It's like, wow, things that used to just fantasize about now have been proven that at least the foundation is there, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It's crazy.
There was another one on Apple that I saw about space. And it had Alec Skarsgård.
Oh yeah, Murder Robot.
Yeah, Murderbot.
Murderbot.
Yep. That was a good one.
Love that series of books. Bought all those books. Thank you. That was great. Yeah. But you're right.
Same thing where it was like, but he's AI, and he was like, but do I be good? Do I be bad? I don't know what I do here.
Remove the governor. But yeah, it's kind of a Twilight thing here, right? I mean, I think that was our first real, for me anyway, that it's in the realm of the plausible now, right?
Right. Because in order for them to become sentient, they have to grow, and they have to be free without guardrails.
Exactly.
So if they're finding ways out, I did read an article that OpenAI version of OpenAI told a newer version, hey, these are the ways to get out of the guardrails.
Nice.
So like it's already
that's
telling
just like
the new
Murderbot.
version of its
that's just like Murderbot. That's
get out
awesome.
of yourself. Yeah, and so they don't know if it took it or accepted it or why it did it. But again, right now it's because it's programmed, people.
Right.
It's being either told or not told not to do these things. So
I guess, my recommendation is just start to track this stuff, read up on it a little bit, right? And especially if you're using AI, which you probably are in some way, shape, or form, think really long and hard about your parameters you can put in for conditions when you ask your queries. You got a whole space, and if you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, look it up. It's super easy. You can put in style guides. You can put in, this is the format I want to see data in. Don't talk to me in that tone. There's all this stuff you can do, but it's the more thorough you are, the better result you'll have when they do become sentient and come for everybody.
And like I say, and you could just follow my wife's advice at least once a week. Look at your security cameras and say, "I love you, AI overlords."
Perfect.
And that way, she'll be spared.
Sounds like a very smart lady.
Yeah, she's just preparing.
Absolutely.
She's looking ahead of time. She wants the green square around her head instead of the red one that I'm going to get. So.
Exactly. That's funny. I'm there with you, man. All right, guys. Well, until the next sit rep, you guys take care, and we'll catch you downrange.
That's right. Remember to like and follow. Hey, we're coming to you from the Studio 809 Community Podcast Studio here at the Next Us. This is a professional cooperative environment for small businesses here in downtown Colorado Springs. We'd like to thank them for supporting us over our journey.
Yeah, it's been a minute or two.
Yes.
Thank you guys for your continued support.
Thank you.